Good day, my name is Bluesuit and today I'll be going over my review of the outrageous story-driven indie noir detective visual novel called Chicken Police. In Chicken Police, you play as an aged detective Sonny Featherland, as he and his partner Marty McChicken follow clues through the city of Clawville and unravel a mysterious case of murder and blackmail that goes all the way up to the highest echelons of civilization. In your pursuit for the truth, the investigative duo will have to question and interrogate dozens of anthropomorphic beings who all have mostly human bodies with animal heads. And depending on how your interrogations and investigations go, you'll learn leads that then progress the story. I'm not going to talk about the details of the story because the twists and turns start in the very first chapter, and there isn't much to talk about that I wouldn't consider a spoiler, but what I will say is the story is great, especially in the characters you meet. Every single one is memorable and unique and has depth, even the ones with only a few lines of dialogue. Additionally, I was pleasantly surprised to find that the themes that this game goes through are much darker than what I expected. There's so much absurd humor and animal puns in this game that I never thought it was going to touch on things like racism, alcohol abuse, or prostitution. Chicken Police is gift-wrapped as a parody take on the genre, but make no mistake, it also succeeds as a classic, gritty, true detective noir crime drama. And as a cherry on top, Chicken Police has a wonderful soundtrack and some of the best fully acted voice dialogue that I've heard in an indie game ever, with the exception of your partner Marty McChicken, whose voice really doesn't seem to fit in with the rest of the game. But on the other end of the spectrum, one of my favorite voice actors ever, William Roberts, who played Diego from Gothic and Vesemir from The Witcher 3, voices Police Chief Lucius Bloodboil here and does an outstanding job.
What a surprise. The two pigeons back together. And without my permission, of course.
The main gameplay in Chicken Police is standard for the genre. You're generally questioning character after character, hoping that you're asking the right questions and you discover more and more of the story. The big disappointment for me was that there isn't any conversation history. Detective Featherland does keep a vague journal on the happenings of the investigation, and you can replay the current conversation that you're in, but if you accidentally skip through the conversation, or if you have it set to autoplay, you might forever miss an important piece of dialogue. Outside of the usual visual novel style conversations, there are a decent handful of off-the-wall mini-games that come up to break up the more dialogue-intensive bits, from testing your aim at the shooting range to helping a hooker zip up the back of her dress. I never found one that failed to entertain, and one always seemed to drop in my lap right as I started to get weary of reading. Also, there are a ton of pop culture references that I noticed, and I'm sure a lot more that I missed, from BoJack Horseman to Pulp Fiction. The one major drawback to Chicken Police is that it's a fairly linear title. While interrogating suspects, there is a little mini-game where you try to guess the right question that leads to the perfect interrogation. However, no matter your choices, the story-driven answers will always reveal themselves, no matter what, and the story will progress along the rails regardless. This is, however, offset by the huge amount of additional content that you can sniff out on your own, giving you, the player, more information about what's going on in Clawville, but it won't necessarily help you out to discover the culprit. What this adds up to is that Chicken Police is much more of a visual novel than a noir detective game, and will appeal much more to fans of the former. Don't get me wrong, the story is fantastic and well written, but there's a lot of hand-holding too that keeps you on the rails and away from feeling like you're doing actual detective work. Right now you can pick up Chicken Police on Steam, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch for $20, but I think its true value falls just a hair shy of that. It has a wonderful story with incredible and memorable characters, spot-on sound design, and a unique dark comedy noir style. However, because its linear story doesn't provide much room for replayability, and it's only a roughly 10-hour game to begin with, I'm valuing Chicken Police at $19, and I recommend it to fans of mystery visual novels or those of all things noir. I hope you enjoyed this review of Chicken Police. Come see me on Twitch where you can watch our reviews in progress 5 nights a week. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Until next time, peace!